that was brought up in the Discord forum in our Discord server, where one of the users asked the question: Could Fari go higher than BTC? Could Fari actually reach a higher value than Bitcoin? And how high can it go, right? And we wanted to give the community some pointers, some guidance towards what our vision is in our in this crypto multi token environment. What the spirit of the token is, what the fundamentals of the tokens and actually to make some ballpark financial calculations to give an idea of how high can this token actually go, because it's a new design, it's a new kind of token, and it's really, it has a lot of strong fundamentals. So we are going to do another 25x this year. We're gonna do another 2.5 billion in digital land via club NFT distributions and Fari token distributions and promos and offers and whatnot. So the ecosystem is growing very fast. So we first plan to go to 50,000 users this year, and then hopefully if we hit a quarter of a million before the end of the year, that would be nice. But if we hit any amount over 50K, that's going to be good. Um, we are at 10K right now. Users are spread across multiple social media channels, but the ecosystem keeps growing fast, and we are currently growing at a faster rate than the Bitcoin ecosystem is. That's pretty easy to do because it's a new ecosystem, so the numbers are pretty low. But we really plan to keep growing at this rate for the foreseeable future. Um, so we have three major upcoming releases. We plan to release the Digital Land NFT marketplace this weekend. Um, in a couple of weeks, we'll proceed with the finalization of the testnet for the social connector, which is it's like a Facebook for crypto, and a platform to place ads for crypto. So it operates at the intersection of Google and Facebook, and it's a tool that allows you to convey information and distribute information via ads, but it also allows you to post stories and socialize. There are some modules called Telfari and InstaFriend that sort of mimic Facebook functionality. So will also release this year. Our wallet also releases this year. This summer, like all of these releases this summer, but we're gonna release multiple versions in the year, multiple updates, and you're gonna see a crystallization of the ecosystem. So that's gonna be really nice. You're gonna see like all of the Bitfari apps out, and what that means is that we're gonna increase substantially within the span of 1 year our membership and engagement and all of the metrics that support the token and enhance token growth. Um, we are also going to release nominal pools, more club NFTs. They are already ready. So we have three more club NFTs variations. They have already been tested. The nominal pools are gonna hit testnet maybe within a week or so. Real publication on real billboards will be open to the public this summer as well. That's another product. We call that product RealNet. So that's a lot of innovation in a very short time span. Okay, so how high can Fari go in terms of BTC? So let's do some calculations. So the Fari token is not meant to compete with BTC. The Fari token is meant to accelerate BTC. So BTC is cash, is an abstraction of digital cash, and the Fari token is an abstraction of the coupon, the digital coupon. So in its most purest form, the Fari token it's going to be a subset of the crypto economy. So it's going to be a percentage of what the BTC market cap is. So that's like the original intention of the token. That's like the most purest abstraction and conception of what the Bitfari token is, and what it can achieve. However, it's part of an ecosystem um, composed of stacks, Bitcoin, and Fari, where Bitcoin is the reserve currency, Stacks is the gas currency, and Fari is the coupon, attention token, and land token. So it's also a token that could serve as a store of value, and it also could serve as a reserve token for corporations, not for government, but for corporations and for people. So in that sense, there are some things that BTC does that the Fari token could do as well. It just so happens that BTC does it better, and the Fari token promotes the usage of BTC as a reserve asset and as a as a cash asset as well. So whenever you want to buy with a coupon, you use a Fari token, you use BTC, and then you purchase with a discount, and that gives people an incentive to use BTC for purchases. And this discount could be as big as 90% in some particular use cases. And the way in which we do this is that we trade merchants attention for discounts in their products and services. So if you give a user of ours a 20% discount when they buy food from you, or shoes, or a cellular phone, we give you the same 20% discount in advertising in our network. So that's a pretty powerful incentive, and sometimes the discount could be bigger in promotions. It's a big incentive for corporations to let users purchase with crypto. So it's not only now the decentralization and the savings in the payment processing accounts, payment processing fees, but it's also that added discount that we can give. And this will accelerate the crypto economy, and it will accelerate adoption of Bitcoin, right? So these three assets, they don't compete, they don't limit each other. Any one of them could grow higher than any other one of them, and this asset price is only determined by supply and demand. So it's not like we are doing something to take away from BTC. We are doing our own thing. So if you look at energy and if you look at land, they are worth more than gold each. So there are scenarios in which Stacks is worth more than Bitcoin. It's not the idea of the Stacks token to be worth more than Bitcoin, but some people even have said that Ethereum could be worth more than Bitcoin, and they have named that the flippening, which hasn't happened. Some people are waiting for that, but it could happen, right? Because they are in the same order of magnitude. Now, if a lot of advertising shifts to digital land, and a lot of people choose to buy digital land as a store of value, then digital land could be a competitor, because land in the real world is worth more than gold. So one of the components of the fundamentals of the Bitfari token, solely could be worth more than BTC for that use case, for the reserve use case. Obviously, this is a new product. It's highly speculative. It's something that needs room to grow, right? But we are just analyzing whether these are things that could happen or not. It remains to be seen what the level of adoption will be. It remains to be seen how fast will this grow, right? However, digital cash is worth more than both. It's worth more than gas and land and everything, and that's the killer use case of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the king of crypto. It has really no competition as a sort of value. So reaching 10 trillion, as we see for Bitcoin, is almost a no-brainer. I don't know anybody that is betting against it. Gas asset, they face stiff competition because you have Ethereum, you have Algorand, you have Cardano, you have all of these technologies that are competing and that want to become a gas asset. So block time is valuable. Block space is really valuable. These gas assets will have value. They will be really valuable, but it really remains to be seen who the winners will be in this space. However, the things that we are targeting, attention, discount, crypto discounts, crypto coupons, digital land, these are assets that face moderate competition. In the land space, we have metaversal coins like Sand, like Decentraland. So it's not a really competitive field. In the attention, we have BAT, we have ad shares, which is not really that well known. In the discount assets, there's like barely anyone. So gas has high competition, land, attention, and discounts have moderate or too low competition. And we can see this on this graph, where we see that BTC has very low competition, very high demand, and we can see that Fari has very low competition, very high demand, not as much as Bitcoin, obviously, but very high demand, especially for digital land and that sort of stuff. The market size of BTC is high, but the market size of Fari is the highest because it's discounts, land, attention, and it could also be used for reserve. So if you just add up all of those markets, it really has one of the highest markets possible. So in that sense, it really beats BTC. So it's a pretty tough competition. What you have to understand is this: BTC has 10 years of advantage, 12 years of advantage, and Fari, it's only it has only barely started. So it remains to be seen what will happen. And you can also look at the performance for these assets as well. A lot of people thought that ETH was going to be able to beat BTC. It didn't happen. They're still fighting. What matters is that they are in the same order of magnitude. So what matters is that gas was able to get to the same level, to the same order of magnitude as a reserve token, and that's what's important, the order of magnitude. Who wins, who loses. In the long term, we see this playing out. We see the BTC being number one, and we see Fari as being a fraction of that, and this is on a log scale. Fari is going to be a coupon for BTC. However, once the Fari attention token starts kicking up, and the Fari land token starts kicking, and the Fari coupons start kicking in, then we're gonna see a pretty big market cap. And this land thing is already at 2.5 billion, so it's not like it's not going to play in the same. It's really at some point within the next 5 years, it's really going to be at BTC level. If it's successful, obviously, if it gets adoption, it has the fundamental of an asset that could compete against BTC. But we don't want to compete against BTC. We just simply want to be in the same order of magnitude as BTC, because we think BTC is a superior asset. It's a superior digital cash than Fari in a number of ways. Even you just take the Lightning Network. It's just amazing. The integration of tax with BTC, the liquidity of BTC. It's just a better asset for digital cash operations. So we see this playing out. We see this playing out within the next 5 years. We see that Fari might hit 20 billion yearly addressable market, and then Bitcoin will hit a 140 billion yearly addressable market, and then you can just run the numbers. We just made a comparison here using different markets. Bitcoin obviously doesn't compete on the coupon market or the ads market, but it obviously competes on reserves and cash. We gave no number for Fari on the reserves, but if you gave like a 0.5% here, then this jumps substantially, right? And then we have no use case for cash, but we do have a use case for coupons. So it's going to be in the same level, but we are not trying to become BTC or play against BTC or bring down BTC at any level whatsoever. So some conclusions. I think that anything will happen. I think that we can see market fluctuations, right? Either way, up or down. I think that we will see coupons and cash being at the same level, at the same order of magnitude, right? I mean, BTC could be like 300 billion, 1 trillion, BFARI could be 500 billion. They could be like in the same level of magnitude because that's what happens in the real world with coupons and cash, especially with cash deployed in the digital world, in the internet, plus coupons also deployed on the internet. Um, but anything could happen. These are tokens that are really playing out. They are part of the same ecosystem, and I think there's really no limit to the Fari token. I think it could go to the moon and beyond, right? So with that, I'll leave you. Thanks for your attention, and remember to always bring life to your location.